What are you doing?
Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. So I want to do a double thingy. What's in my bag and an explanation of something. So what I have here is what's in my bag today is the 70-200 Nikon version 2 VR. Shitty lens hood design really pisses me off that you can't stand. I said pisses me off. That you can't stand it up because it's going to fall over. That's a terrible design. But I want to talk about VR. There's misconceptions about VR. People think that VR is going to keep things still just because they have it, or that it's a substitute for a 2.8 piece of glass, because if you have a 5.6 and the VR is on, well, they say you get 3 stops of light better. Is that good? No, because you get 3 stops of light better handheld at slower shutter speeds. So at a 15th of a second, what is going to happen to a subject that's moving? They're going to blur. That's not good. You don't want them to blur. So the misconception is that VR is going to keep your subject still. But what VR, or IS in the Canon lenses, is going to do, it's going to allow the background or what you are shooting that's an inanimate object to stay in focus, really sharp. You don't use VR or IS on a tripod or on a monopod. You only use it when you're hand holding. It allows you to shoot at places where you could never hand hold a camera and get a clear shot. But what happens, if you're trying to shoot a person and they're running, well, they're going to blur and the background's going to be in focus. So I've had a lot of people come in the past and say, but I bought a VR lens. Isn't it going to keep people still? No, if the shutter speed is too slow, they're still going to blur. So there's different modes in VR. The active mode is really for if you're on something that's moving. Say you're on a boat. It's going to counteract the movement. God bless you. You all right? Okay? Yeah? It's going to counteract the movement of whatever is going on, whatever you're on. And the other mode is more for panning. Because what happens is it really counteracts your movements. So if you move this way, the element moves that way. That's for optical stabilization. That helps keep the subject stable. Or it helps counteract your hand movement if you have handshake, if your hands shake. For panning, you can turn into mode 2 in the Nikons, and that's going to allow you to pan like this, and it's going to keep the vertical axis still, I'm pretty sure, as you pan this way, so that the background's going to, panning pictures. If you've ever seen them, nice streaks, but the person's in focus and sharp, but as you pan through, then everything's going to blur out in the background and have streaks and things like that. But, VR is an interesting animal. I don't know why they put it in super expensive lenses. I don't think you need VR in wide lenses, wide 2.8 lenses, because you're already letting in enough light to hand hold at slow shutter speeds. I'm not a big fan of VR for most things. I have it in the cameras. I throw it on if I, need an extra stability for shooting something, but I always know that it's not going to keep a moving subject in focus. So I hope that helps you understand VR better. Fro Knows Photo, my grandma, Lil, and we're signing out. Say bye.
Bye-bye.
There we go. Fro Knows Photo, out.
Oh, God.